Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has confirmed that she will travel to Bastia, St. Kitts and Nevis on Monday evening to attend the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of Caribbean Community CARICOM, marking her first face-to-face engagement with regional leaders since assuming office for a second term. While her government has emphasized strengthening ties beyond the Caribbean, which is important if we want to grow. We need America as our closest ally. But anyhow, getting back to the report, so while our government has emphasized strengthening ties beyond the Caribbean, Persad-Bissessar has stressed that Trinidad and Tobago has no plans to withdraw from the regional bloc. Following a January 30th meeting with CARICOM, Chairman Dr. Terence Drew in Port of Spain, Persad-Bissessar said the country remains committed to the organization and regional development. And of course, she's making the right decision. We can take a stand. We can say that we are aligning ourselves with America instead of Venezuela, and yet also maintain diplomatic relations with our CARICOM brothers and sisters. Energy Minister Rudal Munilal has signaled a reset in this country's approach to regional energy diplomacy, admitting that previous administrations failed to synchronize TNT's hydrocarbon strategy with developments in Guyana and Suriname. All PNM was thinking about was Venezuela. I mean, we need Venezuela too. It's important. But I mean, if we have to consider if it was that the sanctions were going to remain on Venezuela, then it's better to align ourselves with America and Guyana and other countries, of course, democracies. Speaking on the second day of the Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo in Georgetown, Munilal positioned Port of Spain as an industrial partner ready to support emerging producers, while conceding that opportunities for closer alignment had not been fully pursued in recent years. Especially, I'm telling you, under PNM, for some reason, they didn't really like to pursue anything with Guyana that much. Addressing delegates, Munilal said the current administration, led by Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, has given a clear policy directive since taking office in April of 2025 to deepen engagement with its CARICOM neighbors on energy integration and long-term planning. He acknowledged that collaboration between TNT and Guyana have not advanced as it should have, adding that the government now intends to build a more structured framework for cooperation, getting closer in relation, making that bond, diplomatic bond between Guyana and Trinidad stronger now. Among the proposals outlined was the creation of a formal platform bringing together regional energy ministers and the technical teams on a recurring basis to coordinate policy, investment planning, and infrastructure development. Regional news now, the Zero Hunger Trust Fund is celebrating 10 years of impacting lives across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Speaking on Monday at the media launch of the organization's anniversary activities, Board Trustee and Deputy Chief Education Officer Joycelyn Blake Brown said the Zero Hunger Trust Fund has assisted a wide cross-section of beneficiaries, including thousands of students over the past decade. Blake Brown added that families and communities have also benefited significantly. She emphasized that the Zero Hunger Trust Fund is not merely a financial mechanism, but an institution driven by a strong commitment to ensuring food security, which is important in all our respective countries, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
At the heart of our work is the understanding that nutrition and learning are inseparable. Through the Resilient School Feeding Program, which started in 2016, the fund has supported 21 schools, 4,133 students, serving more than 2.6 million meals. Yes, behind that figure are children who were able to focus in classrooms, families who felt relief, teachers who saw improved engagement. But this program goes beyond feeding. It integrates local sourcing of produce, school gardens, composting system, nutrition-focused procurement, behavior change education. The National Food Security Drive demonstrates that community-based resilience what community-based resilience looked like in practice. Over 3,000 households were supported. This is empowerment at scale.
Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations of Barbados is once again calling for special allowances for the island's protective services sector. CTUSAB President Ryan Phillips is urging the new government to implement, kind of weird new, it's the same Prime Minister, but anyhow, the new term is urging the new government to implement a flexible early retirement framework, improved healthcare services, and the placement of the sector under one single ministry. Let's see if that Prime Minister will take heed. Has been winning, so who knows? Probably she really is doing some good in Barbados for them to continue to voting for over and over again. Mia Motley, Prime Minister Mia Motley.
CTUSAB, in its continued promotion of the interests of the members of the protective services and nurses, is cognizant of the role of the members of the police, prison, and fire services as first responders to any situation and more situations within this country. We are concerned about their exposure to risk, hazards, and the threats involved in their jobs. Based on the nature of jobs, CTUSAB is of the view that they deserve special treatment. And some people may ask, what makes them different? And I've said it over and over again. These are the guardians of our society. Police, fire, prison, and nurses, and here go as far as doctors. And we need to look at these people as special agents to this country.
Rehabilitation through skills training remains a critical pillar of Guyana's correctional system. I believe we have similar programs in Trinidad, but I don't know if it is as effective or significant. Inmates at the Lusignan prison trade shops are being equipped with practical, hands-on skills in areas such as auto bodywork, which is really good, spray painting and welding initiatives aimed at strengthening employability and support successful reintegration upon release. If you're a mechanic, yes, you will make money. It's not always easy, but you will make. These programs reflect a broader push to transform correctional facilities into spaces of learning, personal development, and second chances. Jamaica's opposition People's National Party is standing by its criticism of the government over the continued drawdown of funds from the National Housing Trust, arguing that administration is withdrawing money from the trust while failing to provide adequate, affordable housing solutions for contributors. If they're correct, then Andrew Holness needs to do something about that. You were given a third consecutive term. Make sure that you begin to perform better than you have done, which was, it appears to be a sort of mediocre style of governance for the past 10 years. There's so much needed, so much more development needed in Jamaica. You need to up your game, Prime Minister. Register concerns in the Bahamas. Free National Movement Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright is raising concerns over reported issues with the parliamentary register ahead of upcoming general elections. Real countries have elections close to each other here in the Caribbean, boy. Cartwright says his team is closely monitoring the voters list and is urging authorities to ensure the process remains transparent and accurate. Now, since I have decided to expand the regional news segment, definitely I will give an update on the outcome of the elections in the Bahamas. International news now. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's statement about Iran. He said the Middle East stands at a crossroad. The extremist elements refuse to give up. They are reorganizing in order to challenge us in Israel again. We are not resting on our laurels. We are prepared and vigilant, ready to defend ourselves against any challenge, and we are operating in close coordination with the United States of America. If Iran makes the mistake of attacking us in Israel, they will experience a response they cannot even imagine. Bear in mind, right now, yes, God is giving Israel the ability to defend themselves, but there's a time coming in the Ezekiel war when Israel won't even be able to defend themselves, but God himself shall intervene and conquer their enemies. U.S. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, a statement about Iran again, right now that's the topic internationally. He says, it's not my job to construct a new Iran. It's not anybody's job except the Iranians. It's my job to give them, the Iranians, the opportunity to construct a new Iran. And he's 100% correct. Restoration of democracy in Iran will take place as long as the citizens are willing to form new alliances, new political parties that will govern and value Western civilization and, of course, democracy. Now, for the interesting facts segment, Australian doctors have unveiled a groundbreaking bionic eye designed to fully restore vision for blind patients, something that we would have only dreamed about or seen in sci-fi movies or shows like Star Trek in the 80s and the 90s. This significant milestone in neurotechnology has sparked global interest, potentially offering a revolutionary leap forward in how we treat profound vision loss and visual impairment. Unlike previous models that only detected light or shapes, this system aims to bypass ocular damage by stimulating the visual cortex directly. Success, though, depends on individual nerve health, which is still important, and implant stability, but the technology presents a massive shift in prosthetic capabilities. Would you get normal, or would the average individual be able to afford that type of treatment? That sounds like something that would be a whole lot of money, eh? While large-scale clinical trials are still required to confirm these ambitious claims, the project highlights incredible progress in biomedical engineering. We are steadily approaching a future where boundaries are considered unreachable and neural interfaces are finally being crossed by modern science. It just shows me and it just proves to us as Christians how far we are into the end times. A lot of things that we used to read in the Bible and Revelation, we used to wonder how would that be possible during the 7-year tribulation period. And now we are seeing, because of advancement in technology, why. Once again, Bible, Revelations, 100% correct. Closing off now with the travel segment. Altai, known as Russian Tibet or Golden Mountains, is a stunning wild region in southern Siberia, ideal for ecotourism, hiking, and rafting. It features snow-capped peaks like Mount Beluga, 7,000 turquoise lakes. Ooh la la! Turquoise lakes. That sounds so beautiful. Alpine meadows and UNESCO listed sites. Key experiences include driving the scenic Chuskai tract, visiting nomadic sites, and exploring untamed taiga. That is definitely a place I would love to visit, just thinking about it. And of course, I do give a little visual aid as well at the end of the travel segment. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscription is so important. slowing down a lot these days, though. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all, in Jesus' name.